Invincible, Season 3, Episode 8, our Season 3 finale. Did it live up to the hype? Did we survive the conquest? And what do we have looming on the horizon? All that and more after this. All right, guys, Brett here back for Geek Variants. Cover all things Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, anime, gaming, Star Wars, and more. This time, Invincible Season 3 finale, which I have to say, absolutely impeccable finish to our season. I'm very happy with what we have. But enough about me. Let's hear the man whose opinion you care about. Will, your thoughts?
This season was solid. Could it have been better? A little bit. I still give the nod to season one, but season three was a banger for sure. Think of it more like a slingshot. We start up top and we ramp that thing up and we get right to the finale, and it's a banger for the last two episodes. So they did a very good job with at least pacing as far as I'm concerned and getting everything set up. I do think that if I give this season anything, I give it a solid. I give it a 9.
That's a fair rating. I definitely give this season a 9 out of 10. I think the pacing was fantastic. I think the story was well told. I still think season 1 might have that nod just because of the Omni-Man turn on the League was something impeccable in itself. Leave your thoughts in the comments below about which season was your favorite out of the 3 thus far. But this episode delivered in action, it delivered in romance, it delivered on emotional impact, it delivered on new storylines, like every single thing you could have wanted from Invincible. We had 30 minutes of an absolute slobber knocker, only to be followed up by 30 minutes of setting us up for the next couple seasons. I'm excited, but before I end up getting too carried away and jumping the gun here, Will recap some of the exciting events that happened throughout this episode.
It's not much to recap. Look, Conquest and Invincible went at it. Like they was going at it. And it seems like there's a standard move set in the Viltrumite Empire where they like to take your face and like to ram it through other people's faces. Like there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Conquest was, bent on destroying Mark because again he wants to challenge. So we're getting, all of that stuff from him, like wanting to do everything. And the fact that he's been sitting here with no restrictions, no having to protect certain property, all that other kind of stuff. His mission parameters were simply take it by any means necessary, and that's what he came to do. And when he found Mark, because he already knew about Mark, he's like, "Yo, I wanted to see what you got, and we want to get into it." And he proceeded to go toe to toe. And the fact is that Mark, got a couple good shots in, stuff like that, but it really looked like it didn't phase Conquest as much as you thought it would. Even when he was getting more upset and trying to do stuff, he had some quick bursts of speed. He had some quick, I won't call them cheap shots. The way the fighters is not really a cheap shot, but some quick, uncontested shots when he was looking, he was dealing with something else because he almost ripped Omni-Kid in half. He knocked all his teeth out, literally knocked all his teeth out, and he did all that in a matter of what was it like 7 hits, I think, total to
Yeah,
take him out. Um, so yeah, it was a slobber knocker for real. Like JR would be freaking proud to and call this match if anything. Like, it was really ridiculous with how much damage was being done. And Invincible's only leg up was the fact is that Omni-Kid was able to give him a quick distraction, and Adam Eve got herself back into the fight, leg brace and all. She came out there and she let loose. And again, she had some good moments like that, but in the end, she just couldn't hang. I mean, there was other stuff that was hanging out, freaking with like guts and stuff like that. But yo, this was a fight, and again, Conquest, as he spoke to Mark, it is like I'm a victim of my own success. I am very good at what I do. This is why I have no name. I am Conquest because this is all. This is all he lives for. Nothing else. And that was so cold how he just delivered that, and it was just like, yo, this dude is not to be freaking messed with. So
a
10 out of
psychopath and
right.
sadist of the highest order. Because imagine you've beaten the absolute snot out of somebody. You beat their little brother to the point you almost ripped them in half. Then you take their girlfriend and basically impale them and just leave them unconscious on the ground. Then you grab that person by the face, slam them in the ground, go in, hey, little mama, let me whisper in your ear. And he starts just telling you the most diabolical things about his most insane, like deepest and darkest thoughts that he can't let out to anybody else because of fear of weakness. And he's like, no one wants to be my friend because they're terrified of me. Oh, so you got problems. Like if a Viltrumite empire built on Conquest is terrified of the guy named Conquest, yeah, you got some serious issues to work through, but thanks to the power of love, I will say, Adam Eve was able to have a emotionally charged moment, superpower herself up, Phoenix Force esque, deliver a fantastic blast to Conquest, basically melted half his skin off from this side of his body all the way over. Was just, it was a little overdone. He was missing some skin a little bit, and then Mark was able to ultimately go ahead and finish the job through a series of headbutts because one wrist broken, two wrists broken, leg also broken. So there's a huge asterisk next to this finishing of Conquest, which I'm sure Will would like to touch upon in our next series of events.
Look, everybody was taking damage. The fact is that they punched so hard that they, shattered everything around them. The first time they did it, the second time they did it, you saw their hands go through each other. So mechanical hand and Mark's hand, again, everything just mangled together. And again, still scrapping. He was going with whatever he had left. And the fact is that again, this fight is gory. This fight is bloody. It gets down to the nitty gritty as far as people spread out all over the sand. This really made for a good fight. Again, you get shades of Omni-Man in this fight. You actually get a callback at that certain point. But the fact is that he got down, and again, he was upset enough to where it's like he pretty much saw, in his mind that Eve died. So all that rage, all that frustration, he talked about like you don't get stronger because emotion makes you weak. Dude, apparently you ain't seen Dragon Ball or anything like that. Half human, half something else, emotions, supercharged, freaking power up. That's just kind of how it goes. So he let him have everything, and if you all he had left like that, freaking he headbutted him into oblivion, like the mangled mess that you saw after that. Like if you remember Angstrom, yeah, we're in that same vein of things, just not as big because his head's smaller. But it was absolutely nasty, and he did everything he could to stop him. While we had Cecil coming in to clean up the mess, just like he came and took care of Eve, he came and took care of Oliver, he came and took care of Mark, and he came and took care of Conquest.
In the way only Cecil can. But we'll address that in a moment because we still have to deal with the sad moment where we have Rex's funeral. Everyone's gathered, and we find out that Robot has renamed himself Rex. He has changed his identity and wants to live on kind of for Rex and kind of honor him with everything going on. Eve went up to go give a speech about how, Rex was her first everything, first lover, boyfriend, friend, etc., etc., etc. She starts choking up, can't finish the speech. Completely understand. It's hard losing someone at that age in that capacity, and with everything going on. She goes off. Mark ends up going to comfort her, and he's like, she's like, "Why are you smiling at me right now?" And he's like, "I'm just happy you're okay. I thought I lost you." And they have very really nice tender moments, and you kind of see that their relationship is just firing on all cylinders. The love is cooking, even though unfortunately we'll no longer have Rex out there dropping his witty one-liners that were cooking all his opponents. So RIP to a real one, but we still have more in this episode because this episode, like I said, just keeps delivering.
Yeah, I mean, I think I definitely have my answer for you, Tony. I know what the answer is. That's for him later. But um definitely with this, we see that there are more things coming. Whenever something finishes, there's always something else on the horizon. And right now we got Cecil who's trying to take care of get his reanimated men back up and running, trying to get stuff going. But instead of burning the body of Conquest like Mark requested, like get rid of this. Like he came to see the body, like get rid of it. It's mangled. Cecil decides to store it underground, deep underground, in layers and layers of steel and concrete and everything else. I'm like, do you not see what he just did to all this stuff? But it's like we're gonna wait till he wakes up because he's not. That just confirms that he's not done. We're gonna wait till he wakes up. He's gonna tell us everything about the Viltrumites. I'm like, you don't need to know anything from this guy. Like, you saw what this guy just came in and did? No. Like, end him, because if he wakes up, and it's gonna be a whole nother reckoning. Like, I don't want to know what's gonna happen with Conquest if he wakes up and Cecil's anywhere in the vicinity. Like, it's gonna be a problem.
And Conquest decides not to play with his food this second time around.
Yeah, so that's a whole big issue in itself. But again, more troubles on the horizon, because we see that one, Angstrom, Papa's got a brand new arm, he's ready to go, and the technicians, they want a new homeworld as just a first in many of the things that they are going to request Angstrom do for them in the wake of their services. We have the brain spawn slug thing that is now building its army in the sewers and getting bigger and bigger, and it's almost time for it to do what it needs to do. You still got Darkblood, who was shown in the post-credit scene. And Darkblood is a character who is some kind of investigator who has like been searching for whatever it is for this devilish character that came out with the fiery footprints. And it's like, we can restore you to your throne. We have found a creature who is dark of heart and, really evil, and that can do what we need to do. And all we need to do is summon someone here to do something
They
to
just needed to
restore you
summon
to your
him
throne.
there.
Yeah, to restore the throne. So they're trying to get that because it looks like they can't leave wherever they're at, so they need to bring that to them to set themselves up. So that's frightening in itself, setting up for next season. We still got Dropkick and Fightmaster who are in the wind, because again, that whole timeline, and we know that they were up to something. We got the Invincible variants who are still sitting in another timeline. Like, don't count them out. They're just floating around because Angstrom can call them back at any point in time, and they just look like they'll run amok no matter what. They don't care where they're at. So we got issues, we got problems, and we got a whole lot of heroes that did not make it out of this season. So, yo, what's gonna happen next?
And not to even forget Battle Beast. Alive, well, rescued, and the only thing he's asking for is more, which I know we as fans are only asking for more amazing content from this series, because Invincible's been cooking, just to put it lightly. This is easily something you need to recommend to your friends, family, loved ones, especially if they're mature content. I stress the importance of that, but it's Prime Video. You did a fantastic job, Robert Kirkman. Your universe is amazing. I love what we've got so far. A lot of stuff to speculate on, especially who Darkblood says just arrived, that is dark of heart and is aligned with their interest. So many things to speculate on, but I'm going to let our lore master Tony discuss all that and more with our boy Will at a later date. Is there anything else from this episode that you wanted to speculate on or talk to the folks about?
I mean, there's people I was waiting to see who they come back, like an instance or that, but we got other problems to deal with right now. So she's not even a factor at this moment. We got to deal with the stuff's on the horizon. So where's Omni-Man? Where's Alan? And when are all these other guys getting ready to show up and make their move?
And I need you to make your move to hit that lovely subscribe button. It's free, greatly helps us out, as well as hitting that like button if you're already subscribed. Because remember, Conquest was working for someone, and he only answers someone stronger than him. So we only have up to go in terms of difficulty. I've been Brent for Geek Variants with the man, the myth, the marvel. We'll see you in the next episode.